Hi everyone, Tim here at Pacific Coast Trains. It's early November here in Northern California and time for another project update. Let's head over to the workbench. So today I want to talk about something that we all experience, but I don't think gets enough coverage, or at least enough attention paid to it, and that is failure, right? And this is especially pronounced on social media today, where people, of course, tend to post things that they're most excited about or proud of. And I certainly do that as well, but that is by no means the outcome of every project that I work on. So today I wanted to share a couple of things that I have started on. One's closer to being done than the other, but the end result's not really something that I'm really excited about. So I'm not going to stage these, take photos, and put them up on social media, but instead I thought I'd share just a quick video talking about these couple of projects. First one is a set of PPW Proto-Power West A-Line Thrall stack cars. And these started off as an undecorated set of kits. Bought these at a train show, invested in the Plano Model Products platform for to kind of super detail these a bit. Really nice parts that Keith Apes at Plano has put out for these cars. Added in the case of, let me find this car, added in some scale chain as well. Put in a little bit of brake piping between the valve and the air cylinder. And generally put a decent amount of work into these cars, trying to make them look pretty good, and then got to the painting phase. I'd seen a number of these American President's Line XAPLX cars re-lettered for Bran, who's a leasing company. You don't know what that stands for. I should probably do a little more research. I'm struck by blue cars. These were really quite attractive out in the wild, so wanted to paint these in a similar scheme. And generally, I think they came out okay, not great. A little bit of weathering on the walkways, a little bit of grime in the edges of the wheel wells, some the container wells, some dings on the inside, etc. Again, the sort of detail parts, the sort of separate grab iron on the upright angled there, the eye brackets on the corners. The details are fine. Then when you get to the actual painting, you see sort of blemishes like, well, this dark blue area, this patch didn't turn out great. A little bit of the decals are kind of silvering in some of the places. It's got some of that same kind of silvering there, a little bit of opacity there. So I didn't take my time, or I think in one case here, for example, the decal solution ate into the paint a little bit. A little bit of silvering there, some blemish there. Again, it's all fine, and it means that the cars turned out okay. But if you really sort of look at these closely, especially here, I've got to run some more Solvaset over that. When I've done that in other places, though, it's created different problems. So just a combination of luck, inattention, or lack of skill in some cases. All of these cars, and these will get a place on my layout. They will get run around, and there will be a sort of a final assembly, and I have some containers that will go into this. Are these likely to become the kind of models that I'm going to want to put in front, up close in front of the camera to really highlight? I don't think so, right? Maybe I've got some project fatigue. Maybe they just didn't turn out quite the way that I was imagining when I first did this project. So the next one we'll look at is an Athearn Pullman Standard 5277 cubic foot boxcar. This one labeled for Railbox, but it has the newer Railbox graphic on it. This are slightly smaller arrows, slightly different graphics on the left side. So this car, out of the box, it's a nice model. Athearn did a good job with the details on the grab irons, the stirrups, the end platforms are metal. Yeah, it's a nice model, right? It's basic. Underframe is really non-existent. Underframe detail is non-existent. But as a good runner, good weight. In a car that you should, if you're a modern modeler, you should probably have a lot of. Did the first treatment to this, gave it a 50-50 black-brown, very dilute wash, and then kind of started wiping off from the panels and so forth. Got to a reasonable spot with, at least the first weathering for the car, right? You start to get some of the grime accumulating along the sills and against the posts and so forth, all looking reasonable so far as kind of step one. But then I took another look at the car and I compared it to some of the photographs that I've taken that I'm using to model this, right? And you can see here, and again, this is the photo, the color's off, right? And I sort of look at the way that this particular car has weathered, and I'm not looking at one particular car. I've looked at a few of these, right? This one's also just a different, brighter yellow than the model, right? The model has this sort of brownish tinge to it, like the old paint scheme gets to, right? There you go. Like, oh, okay, with a little more darkening, I can see making those work, but it becomes a lot harder to see how you make those reconcile, right? And so, again, here we have, another project that I'm literally just starting down the path for, and have hit a bit of a roadblock, right? Where, I could go ahead and finish this up, put some tags, cover those, darken it, do all the things I would normally do, and I'd wind up with a car that doesn't look anything like those that I take. All of the cars with this new scheme tend to bleach out. They get whiter and lighter and more yellow, almost a yellowish white, as opposed to this kind of sand golden brown color that the older style does morph into over time, and this is a much better representation of. So again, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I'm probably going to head over to the paint booth and give this a quick overcoat with some, bright yellow and just see how I go. I may have to do some scratching off of the overspray once I do that, but it's another project where I've just got some more work to do on it, right? Before I give up and it goes the route of the others, which will be fine, but eventually probably sold on eBay and moved on to someone else who may appreciate them more than I do. Anyway, just a couple of projects that I wanted to share. Not everything turns out the way that you'd like, and that's okay, right? Part of the joy in this is the journey and the creating. It's also having a great product at the end, but we are modelers as well, right? And that means going through the build and a little bit of a creative process to get to a destination. Anyway, hope everybody's fall is going well. Thanks so much. Like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.